Hey everyone, my name is Momita Chakravarti and I hope you all are keeping well physically as well as mentally. I am back again with another brilliant session on Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, and we have a very distinguished guest among us who is a well-known author and former journalist, Shri Anuj Dhar. He has published several books on Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, which includes Your Prime Minister is Dead, Conundrum, and India's Biggest Cover-Up. The topic for today is Netaji, the other side of the story, where we will discuss about Gumnami Baba or the Bhagwanji theory, who is believed to be none other than the liberator of India, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. So let's get started and welcome sir on board. Namaste sir, welcome to today's show. I'm very much thankful to you for joining me on today's session. So let's start. First of all, we see you speaking about Netaji, and you have written 3 books on Netaji. My first question would be, what inspired you to become a follower of Netaji and research about him?
Oh, it's a long story. I was not a follower, so to speak. I have a connection with him in a strange way. My grandfather fought against him. He was part of the British Indian Army, and I never saw my grandfather. And I grew up, of course, seeing his photographs, my grandfather's photograph, and of course, I came to know one point in time that my grandfather had fought against INA. He was part of the British Indian Army. He had gone to Kohima, when from the other side the Japanese and INA had come. And I came to know from my own family folk, family lore, is that I was told by my family that when these people see, when Subhash Chandra Bose escaped from India, there was complete censorship about him. So nobody knew what he was doing and so on and so forth. Especially people in the army did not know a thing about him. So people like my grandfather, who were part of the British Indian Army, they were told to just go and fight the Japanese. But when they reach the border area, they heard people speak on loudspeaker on the other side in Hindi, don't fight, हमसे मत तोड़ो, हम आपके भाई हैं. So that point in time, they realized it was it's not Japanese or Indians were there, and Subhash was a sector in that part of the world. So I learned from my people in my family, my elders, that there was a virtual near revolt in the armed forces because of that reason. So I knew, because of my own family history from very young age, that India's becoming free has to do with Netaji. Because this is my family connection. I'm from the family of people who were there in the British Indian Army. So this is
So
even
is
more
it
credible.
because of the family only
Because
you
of this,
started
I knew
researching on
always,
him more, or?
because of this reason, I always knew that India became free because of this reason. So
Okay.
that was my connect with him. So I knew him. So I knew about him. I admired him, of course, for that reason. But I was not exactly a follower, because there are certain people who can be classified as followers. One of my friend Vishal Sharma, who's part of Mission Netaji, he's a follower because he would observe his birthday. Of course, he would post his pictures everywhere. I was not in, I'm still not very exhibit. I don't exhibit things just like that.
So you have
And
written this
it was
three.
only when I joined Hindustan Times in 2000, and by this time, Netaji death mystery was making news. We were aware of it. There was some controversy. You might recall the name of Professor Samar Guha. In 1970s, he was Jadavpur University professor. Samar Guha, member of Parliament, he used to talk a lot about Subhash Bose. Probably he, did so much for his, legacy that nobody can, reach that level. So we were aware. I was aware of his book, Netaji Dead or Alive, which I, read when I was in college. So this was on the back of my mind somewhere. And by 2000, 2001, when I was part of Hindustan Times, Netaji death mystery was making news. At least in Delhi, it was making news. It was on front pages, because every now and then there would be stories about what was happening. And most, intriguing was the claims made by Dr. Purvi Roy. She was also from the industry. And these claims were to the effect that Netaji was in Russia. This is something, again, we had been hearing about when we were growing up in Delhi. So we used to hear that Subhash Chandra Bose did not die, and the general feeling in public was he did not die and he was somewhere in Russia where he died. So this was a general feeling among public in those days. And Dr. Purvi Roy reinforced it when Mukherjee Commission was set up in 1999. So this was in this environment I became very active. And then a time came when investigation started in Hindustan Times. Because of my little interest in Subhash Chandra Bose, I was given the task of being a part of it. And from that point onwards, I have become very much interested in this case. Otherwise, I was not exactly a follower as some people are. today?
जो नेताजी का जो एक मतलब इमेज है वो है सेक्युलर है, बहुत ही सेक्युलर है, एंड ही इज ए नेशनल, not even national, he is an icon of the entire Asia because 11 nations has recognized him as the prime minister of undivided India. तो आपका जो ये 3 books है, जो the your prime minister is dead और Conundrum, और the another thing was the India's biggest cover up.
Biggest cover up,
हाँ,
and then you have
इनका
Back from Dead.
इनका जो ब्रीफिंग है, अगर आप हमारे व्यूअर्स को दें, क्योंकि जो कि हमारा यूथ जनरली इतना बात नहीं कर रहा है, देयर आर पीपल, देयर आर फॉलोअर्स, बट अभी भी उतना जितना बात होना चाहिए उतना हो नहीं रहा है. बस देयर आर सर्टेन पीपल हु आर ओनली फाइटिंग फॉर दिस इश्यूज कि नेताजी का बर्थ एनिवर्सरी को देश प्रेम दिवस के हिसाब से लेना चाहिए या फिर इसको डिक्लेयर करना चाहिए एज ए नेशनल हॉलीडे, और उनका जो डेथ मिस्ट्री है उसको एक सेटलमेंट में लाना चाहिए कि अल्टीमेटली व्हाट इज द ट्रूथ. तो अगर आप थोड़ा ब्रीफिंग दे आपके बुक्स के बारे में, सो इट विल बी वेरी गुड एक्चुअली.
You see, as I told you, that I began inquiring into it as Hindustan Times journalist, and this inquiry was solely about the issue of Netaji's fate, what happened to him. So when the Hindustan Times, team, came to a conclusion. I was one member of it. There were others also, including Sitanshu Das, who was a very renowned historian. He was a journalist, very top-level journalist, and he also wrote Netaji's political biography, very well-known name in those days. So we came to a conclusion that the official version of Premkash death was not correct, and then we were asked to appear before Justice Mukherjee Commission, which we did. So I was examined on the same day as Pranab Mukherjee, late Pranab Mukherjee, who was then a former Foreign Minister of India, and thereafter, of course, in 2000, thereafter what happened, I kept on digging into this matter. Because by that time, when I appeared before Justice Mukherjee Commission in 2001, our impression was that since he did not die in the plane crash, so obviously the only logical story or theory which seemed most credible to us, and which is something which we had been hearing about, was the Russian angle. And we had been, of course, in Hindustan Times, when we were inquiring, so we had come into detailed interaction with Dr. Purvi Roy. And so I used to know her quite well, and we used to hear so many things from her about Netaji's presence in Russia, and of course we saw a couple of documents, etc. So I began digging further, and I came to know about this Gumnami Baba, so-called Gumnami Baba angle, which I was not willing to even listen to start with. Then the first time the idea was, somebody spoke about this issue. I remember I was sitting in my office, I think 16th, 17th floor in Delhi, in the Sun Times office. One of my colleagues told me that some fellow has come from UP, and he's claiming that there was some Gumnami Baba who was Subhash Bose. My gut reaction was to tell him, why don't you just throw him out of the office? He's wasting our time, because how is possible for Subhash Chandra Bose to be somebody like Gumnami and to be living of all the places in the world in Faizabad? So that doesn't make any sense. Obviously, anybody who who's an average person who knows nothing would obviously find it quite revolting, this idea. Anyhow, by and by, I got deeper in the case, and I began to see there's a lot of logic to dig deeper. And then I, took the inquiry further from where my HT team had left. Then I did inquiry solely by myself, but of course under the aegis of Hindustan Times. And then the conclusion made was that, well, like it or not, the Gumnami theory has the most evidence among all the theories of this Subhash versus Premkash. After the HT thing got over, I began, I kept on digging further privately, because it was my interest, passion by that time.
So did you interact with any of the members in Faizabad, like who used, we came to know
I
now
met everybody.
that
When you do investigation, you meet people. You don't just Google search. I met everybody. I spoke to them. That's a different matter. So because since you're talking about my books, I'm telling you what happened. So in 2005, my first book came back from dead. So that was the first book I wrote on this case, on Subhash Bose death case, and this was in 2005. By which time I think Congress Party was part. Yes, Congress Party was in part. Dr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister of the country. So this book came out in 2005. Thereafter, in 2012, I wrote India's Biggest Cover-Up, which was of course much expanded, quite detailed, because in 6-7 years I had gained much information, because I kept on doing it, and then in 2005 we found a group called Mission Netaji. So more and more people joined us, and then we, of course, we had the corpus of information. Information became bigger and bigger.
Right.
And then, of course, the Conundrum was released in last year, and which is the combination of the research Chandrachud and I have done together. But the basic, conclusion that I drew back in 2001 is the same. In the Sun Times onwards, 2001, my first book, second book, third book, whatever. So there are three theories. It was I who clarified the issue in a big way, because before I wrote this book, Back from Dead, people were not very clear about this entire issue. So they used to talk about this theory and that theory, and people had made up their minds. I approached it very systematically. So in India, in Back from Dead, and of course the same, uh, I followed the same technique in my next books also. I described the entire case. I gave all the details, how the plane crash happened, what were the claims made in the favor of the plane crash story, and I outlined to look, there are three theories of the Subhash Chandra Bose's death: the plane crash, and there are the other two. There are some more theories, but they don't count. They are of no consequence. Actually, they have nothing by way of evidence. And then, of course, I then give people all the details. I go into Russian angle. I go into the Faizabad angle. I go into the plane crash story, and I explain people which of these has got more evidence to go by. And the conclusion drawn is it is the Faizabad story, which is the
About the
most
Gumnami Baba
credible of
Muhammad.
all the three angles. So this has been my stand right from 2001. So that's how it is. Only thing, yes, with passage of time, you get to know things more, you understand things more, and you gather more information. The only difference now, the case has become even more stronger. So obviously, there's a huge difference from my first book to the last one.
Mrs. Rita Banerjee, I think, is associated with somewhere with the Faizabad case. So, did you interact with her regarding the
I
same?
interact
And
with everybody.
what?
In fact, essentially, there were a lot of people. So essentially, when you talk about this Gumnami Baba issue, we have evidence in three categories. One is, of course, the eyewitness account. So you need to have a credible eyewitness account, and all these types of evidence are, even in courts will take them seriously. Now, for example, when you talk of the Russian angle, lot many claims which were made by, let's say, Purbi Roy, madam, and members of the Subhash Bose's family, basically they were conjectures. They were claims. People are saying so. I went to Russia, I met somebody, and he told me that he had met somebody else, and that person had seen certain file. Well, that's a hearsay. It doesn't count actually. You need to have the eyewitness account of person, somebody who has seen something happening in front of his or her eyes. So in this case, we had because this whole thing unfolded in our times. This so-called Baba died in '85, which is fairly recent. So people were alive. People are still alive, but people were alive in 2000, 2001 when I was inquiring into this case. So we had one group of people who were locals, who were living in Faizabad or Basti or Ayodhya or Naimisharan, the places where this happened. The other set of people who were keeping all the things secret to themselves for all these years were living in Calcutta, essentially. So I was able to interact with all of them, not just people in Calcutta, but in the UP, who had been earlier approached by local media, but people in Calcutta were completely cut off. They were not willing to open. So it was because of me they began talking, and so I examined all of them. And then, of course, we have the documentary evidence part, that we need to have contemporary records or contemporary letters to go sit well with the entire narrative. So this we have gotten plenty, especially in Kannada, that we have contemporary letters written by Gumnami Baba, letters written by these people to him, and all of them sit very well with the version of the eyewitness that this man was Netaji. Because that is a feeling you see very clearly coming up in those letters. So first, you have very credible eyewitness, witnesses. For example, Pabitra Mohan Roy was a very credible eyewitness. He is no more. He died in 1990, but I met his son. I met his granddaughter, also, and other members of his family. He was somebody who was not only in the INA intelligence services, he was somebody who almost died for Subhash Bose. So you have to believe a man like him. And there were multiple such people. So he was one of them. There was Sunil Das, there were Sunil Krishna Gupta was there, and then so on and so forth. So you see, one person can tell a lie, and if somebody is telling a lie, that person has to have a motive. So we found no motive. Why would so many people living in different parts of the country would tell lies, and that too for 30, 40 years without gaining anything in return? Because it's very easy to say somebody is trying to rake up the stamp for political or others. No, there was no reason for it. This was never any issue for anybody at any point of time. So this is complete nonsense to talk about somebody was trying to make money. Nobody was trying to make money. In fact, people in Faizabad who were talking about it are already well off. So they are not doing it for money. In fact, they were keeping the whole thing to themselves. Especially the people who were in Calcutta, they were completely silent. They did not open their mouth until 2001 or two or three. So I met them. I would talk to them. Of course, I knew them for years. So now, of 3-4 people who survived in my times, now almost everybody, everybody is gone now. So that gave me a lot of confidence. Then the third and very important aspect was the forensic part. So we did not have pictures of this man, but we did have his handwriting and certain DNA tests were done on his teeth.
Sorry to interrupt you. Your voice is getting very low. Can you just increase the volume? Because
is it okay now? Because अभी बोलो, अभी ठीक है? Is it
थोड़ा
okay now?
जोर से मतलब check the volume if it's fine.
Let me check if the volume can be increased.
Now it is fine.
Okay. So and the last one, of course, other than the eyewitness account and the documentary evidence, so there was forensic evidence, which I can go into details later on. So these three things put together, of course, would convince me to this theory, because don't forget, this sort of evidence you don't find in the other two theories. So we can discuss those aspects. People, keep saying so many things, but so I have to approach everything objectively. I have nothing to gain by saying I only wanted to know the truth about this case. You're a journalist, you're doing an inquiry, you want to know what really happened. The easiest thing for me to do was to support the government's version, because if you support government's version, it's what everybody's happy with it. And if you don't want to support government's version, then you support the theory which opposition party would like to talk about. So in this case, the people wanted to talk about the Russian angle because it somehow shows the big in that light. So I chose the angle which was the least, nobody believed it actually in those days. In fact, until recently, nobody took me seriously on this case. I was only interested in the truth of the case. I'm not concerned whether it is believable or not. But if the evidence is saying it was good, then let's find about it.
So as per you, the most people should believe in the Gumnami Baba theory the most.
People should go with the evidence. They should not believe anything, because that the belief is coming in the way of the truth.
So the Gumnami Baba theory has the most evidence as per you.
You go by the evidence. You don't go by the belief. No, belief is like, I believe that he was in Russia. I believe that that happened. No, this is not belief. This is evidence. I'm giving you an the evidence here. Not only is very clear, like you have the eyewitness account, you have the forensic part, and you have the documentary evidence. So much so that Mukherjee Commission report, when it came out, Justice Mukherjee also discussed this entire issue, and he has clearly written in his report that the eyewitness account cannot be challenged. It is credible. So when Mukherjee himself is considering the eyewitness account to be credible, then who am I to oppose it? And then, of course, he also admits in his report that the documentary evidence is also matching, is also clear. So eyewitness account is matching, the documentary is matching. The only point of contention has always been the forensic part, because there were the government experts give negative reports, whereas the private experts give positive reports. So because of which the Justice Mukherjee could not conclude in his report whether or not this man was really Subhash Bose. So he ended by saying there is no clinching evidence this man was Mukherjee. Now, the interpretation was still given by local media back in 2005 when this report came out was Mukherjee has rejected this story. No, he has not. He did not reject. He only said there was no clinching evidence, which is to say that you have the evidence, but it is not clinching. This is to, so to speak, the story, the claim which is being made by, for example, people like Dr. Purvi Roy or General D.D. Bakshi and Subramaniam Swamy, that Netaji was tortured to death in Russia, is basically fictional. Forget about evidence, you have nothing in favor of it. It's only claims. And the problem, with these claims, what happens, especially in India, if you start dropping important and big sounding names, especially of foreigners. I went to, Russia, I went to Moscow, I met Kolesnikov, I met this and that. And you have, these important sounding names, especially of foreigners. We as a society have an inferiority complex, especially about the foreigners.
The mic is again creating a problem. I think because of the microphone set here, it's like buzzing kind of thing is coming, or sometimes it's getting very low. I'm really sorry for this inconvenience.
Is it okay now? This is okay?
हाँ, this is
Account.
perfectly fine. Perfectly fine.
तो कहाँ से start करें, because of the lost the link last.
The last thing which I could hear was about this one, the Russian link you said. Then after that,
I was
उसके
telling you
बाद
about the evidence part. The evidence is in this Gumnami Baba, so-called Gumnami Baba. He was given this name by local media after he died, so he was not Gumnami Baba per se. That is not the name by which people used to know him. But anyhow, but that's how he has become known now. So the evidence for it is quite clear. I was telling you that when you approach any issue, you investigate any issue, you have to be mindful of the evidence. Don't go by belief. I believe it is not possible for Netaji to live like this. I believe that Russia had him killed. No, these are of no consequence. You have to go by purely belief. Now there are three theories of his death. There's the plane crash theory of the Russian angle, and the third is the Faizabad, Gumnami Baba angle. Now, if anybody can prove, with clinching evidence that he died in Taiwan in the so-called plane crash, automatically the story ends there. So because if he's dead and gone in Taiwan, he cannot be alive anywhere else. If you can prove that he died in Russia, he was killed there, the evidence is very clear, then obviously he cannot be either dead in Taiwan or in Faizabad. Likewise, if you can establish he was sitting here, he was in India long after the Russian in theory is supposed to have played out, then obviously it rules out the other two angles. Now the problem with, or the good point with this issue, that in the case of the so-called Gumnami Baba, there were multiple people, not one, two, three, but so many of them across decades who were credible. They all saw this man or spoke to him or communicated with him between 50s and 1985. So that is the eyewitness account. And eyewitness account is taken, of course, very seriously even by courts of law. You don't have this kind of an account for, let's say, Russian angle. In Russian angle, people make claims. I went to Russia, I met somebody, and told me that he was there. No, that's not evidence. Unless that person produces a record or the other. In fact, the most credible eyewitness account about Russia is from Ardhindu Sarkar. He appeared before Justice Mukherjee Commission. And what Ardhindu Sarkar said, that he went to Russia in 1960s, and his senior in the, he was working for some big plant, he was an engineer. And he was told by a senior who was a German Jew that, he had met Subhash Bose in Germany before the war. And he met him again in a Russian Gulag. And he described that Subhash was moving around with two guards. He was obviously not he was a free person, but he had security cover. And he spoke to him. And he said, when are you going back to India? He said, I hope I'll go back soon. So the only description which has come about shows that he was not a prisoner. In fact, all the records which have become available in recent times, intelligence records, none of them talk about his being a prisoner there. They all talk about him being there, and possibly he's given shelter and he would come back. So this entire theory of he's being captured by Russian and being killed there, it doesn't stand on anything other than apprehensions and fears. But these fears have been articulated over the years by people who are very highly placed. And in our country, which has, of course, a history of inferiority complex, you start dropping names, you start giving people's name, and especially foreigners, it kind of sounds very credible. I give an example. If I were to place before people two bits of evidences. For example, I say, I went to Patna, I met Mr. Prasad. Mr. Prasad told me Subhash Chandra Bose did not die in any plane crash. On the other hand, I tell them I went to, let's say, in Florida in America, and I met Mr. Anderson, and Anderson told me that he did not die in any plane crash. Now, which one of these two would be taken more seriously by people in India? Obviously, Mr. Anderson in Florida, because he's living in a very much but different world. But the reality is that this man in Patna could be expert in the case, and he may be a very educated man. The guy in Florida could be a gardener for all we know, but people will likely believe him because of his skin color, because of the fact he's living in America. So when you start dropping important sounding names of big people, I went and I met so and so. So the whole idea becomes very credible. This is it seems very true. I'm so and so. I teach at university. I went to that country. I met that person. He was linked to the prime minister of that country, and he told me. But in the real when you look into the issue from a judicial point of view, it means nothing. That is why Dr. Purvi Roy, for example, she made a lot of claims. I essentially believe in the main story which she talks about, that he was there. There's no doubt about it. But her claims were rejected by Justice Mukherjee Commission because she could not prove any of these points. She made a lot of claims about Netaji being there, and she said, "I have documents, and these documents prove that he was there." But unfortunately, the commission could not believe her. So, the story of these three stories of Subhash Bose's death or survival, the last one, even though it doesn't sound absolutely unbelievable on the face of it, actually is very believable when you look into the evidence and records. That's how it is.
So about the Gumnami Baba or Bhagwanji theory, as you're talking about the evidences, there are certain letters. If I have seen some sessions there, I think Mrs. Rita Banerjee has once revealed that there are some letters there in which the handwriting matches with Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. But when it was sent for checking, it was not. It did not match. But there are certain
I'll
experts
tell you what
who
exactly
has
the story.
also told.
I'll tell
Yeah,
you
it
what the story,
matches.
the handwriting, the story. The story is like, the Gumnami Baba was not willing to share his handwriting samples with anybody when he was alive, when he was there. So he was very careful. He would hardly give anybody his handwriting, anything written by him. And he would, for example, he wrote to people in Calcutta. He would tell them to return the originals. So many times you'll find his letters were copied by these people in their own handwriting, and the original were burnt or probably sent back to him. Anyhow, we have so many samples of him which have survived. When Mukherjee Commission went to Faizabad in 2001, so Justice Mukherjee wanted to pick up these samples for handwriting check. So we got plenty of handwriting samples in English, in Bengali, and in Hindi also, in Sanskrit. Since we don't have Netaji's original in Hindi or Sanskrit, so only the English and Bengali were used for test. The first test was carried out by Hindustan Times, and I was the link person. I went to and I located India's number one handwriting expert in those days, Mr. Bilal Kapoor, who was a former top-level man from Government of India, and after retirement he was freelancing. And Mr. Kapoor looked into those papers, and he gave Hindustan Times a report: the handwriting is matching. So this story was published in newspapers, and it of course became a little bit controversial. By this time, Justice Mukherjee had given these handwriting samples for testing to the FSL Calcutta and this to the Ministry of Home Affairs, Shimla GEQD. GEQD is the office under the Home Ministry, which does the handwriting test. They have been doing it for last 60, 70 years from the time of the British. So eventually, the reports which were given by the FSL Calcutta and GEQD were negative. In the meanwhile, Justice Mukherjee hired the same expert. He had given report to Hindustan Times, and Mr. Lal's report to us was based on some of the samples which I had given, which I had procured, as a journalist. But Justice Mukherjee gave him huge number of documents, both in Bengali and English. And Mr. Kapoor produced two reports, and both reports said the handwriting is matching. Now, the problem which people don't want to get into, when an expert gives a handwriting report, he or she is supposed to give reasons why he or she thinks the handwriting is matching or not matching. Now, the FSL report given by Dr. S.K. Mandal was only of one page. 2 pages. First page, only name, title, etc. Second page, he had filled in some forms, some names, and he said handwriting is not matching. That's all. That's all is to it. There's nothing more to it. The report from the GEQD Shimla was 3-4 pages. They had given some description. Okay, handwriting appears to be same, but it is not same. Something like that. Mr. Kapoor gave 2 different reports, fairly detailed, maybe 15 pages each for English and Bengali. And then he had around 460 exhibits, huge size exhibits of each and every alphabet in English and Bengali and phrases. And he demonstrated the handwriting is matching. So that is what is called a report, a proper report. He spent 6 months to produce this report. Thereafter, Chandrachud and I, when we began working on our book Conundrum, we consulted 2 more experts, top-level experts. One is Ashok Kashyap, who's a Delhi-based top-level experts of handwriting, very well-known. He regularly goes to courts, gives evidence. He has given in Supreme Court also. He's a very well person in Delhi, Ashok Kashyap. His entire family was into handwriting. His father opened the first forensic lab in Delhi, private lab, way back in 30s. He gave a detailed report. The handwriting is matching. We also considered an American expert, Kurt Baggett, in America. Now, Kurt is very important because Kurt was not told what is it all about. In the case of Mr. Kapoor or Mr. Kashyap or the other government experts, they all knew this is about Gumnami Baba and somebody is wanting to see whether or not he's Netaji. Now, Kurt Baggett was given no such brief. We approached him through our friends in US. He was given 2 sets of papers, one from Netaji Research Bureau, photocopies of Netaji's handwriting. The other one, some handwriting samples of Gumnami Baba, which were there in the custody of Dr. Pabitra Mohan Roy's son. So he did not know a word about it. He did not even know us. So even though the old man does too much of googling, but still we did not even he did not know even about myself or Chandrachud, because he was approached by one of our friends in America, and he approached him, and we gave him the samples, and he also produced a detailed 49 pages report demonstrating that the handwriting is matching. And thereafter, this came to media, and there were discussions, and both Mr. Kashyap and Mr. Beckett appeared before media. They gave their bites. Channel concern invited Dr. Mandal to come and give his point of view. He refused to come. So people can make out. So he was afraid, I believe. He did not want to come on television and make a fool of himself publicly. So this is what is to the handwriting expert's opinion. So one can see very well you have 3 or 4 top level experts, independent, one of which was a former top government man. They are giving detailed reports in detail explaining their case, but the government experts are giving summarily they're rejecting this is not him. So I'm sure anybody can make out that this is going to that side. Anyhow, once we were able to overcome the problem caused by a negative government handwriting report, people who didn't want to believe in the story of Gumnami Baba, they kept on saying DNA did not match, and DNA is science. DNA is something which cannot be ignored, and DNA has much more evidentiary value than the handwriting expert's opinion, which is correct. The DNA has got much more value. It's scientific, more scientific than the handwriting expert's opinion, and it is infallible as long as the report is correct. So I keep telling people, I go for lectures and tell them, in India, political science is mother of all sciences for good reasons. There have been cases in our country of DNA test being fudged. It's not new. It's happened in many cases. Anyhow, from the very first day, I was aware, not only me, but many people who were in commission were aware there was a chance of fudging of the reports. So it's a different story. Anyhow, there were 7 teeth of this man were found in Hyderabad, and they were sent for DNA. The first lab which got tested was CDFD Hyderabad. CDFD Hyderabad reports stated that we tested 2 teeth, but one was totally, it went waste. There was nothing we could get out of it. The other one yielded something, but it was not sufficient to draw a conclusion. Hence, the report is inconclusive. Now, they did not specify what prevented them from using the rest of the teeth. So you have 7 teeth, you're using 2 of them. One is not yielding much. The other one is, of course, yielding something, but you cannot, And then there was, of course,
so they said, we
cannot conclude. And the gentleman who gave the report, the CDFD Hyderabad report, was the same person who had given a dubious report in the Arushi Talwar case as well, by the way. That's a different matter, but he's the same person who gave a dubious report for which the court was not very happy with him. So in any case, since the CDFD Hyderabad had not concluded, this man was, they had made no conclusion, remaining 5 teeth were given to CFSL Calcutta. And CFSL Calcutta produced a negative report saying this man was not Subhash Bose. Now, since that time, all the people who are opposed to the Gumnami Baba issue have made it a point to hammer this point everywhere. They keep on talking there, and they keep on saying this is the ghost, what you call the gold standard of proof in this case. This is the ultimate proof. The CFSL Calcutta report says so on and so forth. But they not only they refuse to hear the other side of the story, they also don't want to admit something which are very clear. Those are these reports were given to Justice Mukherjee. These reports were not given to the Netaji's family. They were given to Mukherjee Commission. Mukherjee Commission had organized these, tests. Now, it is an open secret to people like me that Justice Mukherjee himself believed there was a forensic fudging, but he could not prove it. In any case, he was running commission, he was not running in court, but he had the suspicion from the day one that something has gone wrong. So in 2010, Mukherjee was caught on camera admitting this man was Subhash Bose, but he could not prove it, which was a big thing. The judge was, he said his private view became public, so to speak. So obviously he had the DNA report in mind. If you have a DNA report which is saying that this man is not Netaji, and still Justice Mukherjee, who had received those reports, is stating publicly he was the same person, but I could not prove it. That by this is something which has been clarified by me and Chandrachud in a recent latest book, Conundrum. Now, there are multiple areas where you can put a question mark on the CFSL's report. The most important of which is circumstantial, and which is to say the report of CFSL Calcutta was completed in June 2004 and given to Justice Mukherjee Commission. But 6 months prior to it, the finding of the report was published in Anand Bazar Patrika. Now, this is scientifically not possible. The report was completed in June 2004. Right. You couldn't have come to know about its finding in 2003.
Exactly.
And this was a classified matter. This was a secret matter. Right. This is a report secret. I have all the reports with me. We don't work like the members of Subhash Bose's family. We don't work on Google. We have records and only then we talk about it. Now, please understand. Now, so it so happened that Justice Mukherjee Commission complained to Press Council of India in those days that this matter was confidential, and by publishing the finding of the DNA report, this newspaper is coming in the way of a proper inquiry. So matter went to the Press Council of India. So this is everything is on record. That's taking the name very confidently. ABP is a very big name, I don't know, but I have the truth of head, legal cell head, made clear statements that we received, scoop. This is a problem. Now is it okay to should okay right now? Isn't it?
This is it's okay.
I was telling you about the because of this my background noise, I cannot concentrate. My ear is on the other side. The प्रेस काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया ने फैसला इनके फेवर में दिया, एबीपी के। उन्होंने बोला कि बिल्कुल ठीक है, वो पत्रकार हैं, वो जो चाहे उनको स्कूप मिल सकता है, अंदर की बात वो बाहर निकाल सकते हैं, इसमें कमीशन क्या कर सकती है। और बीच में 2004 में आते थे, कमीशन का भी काम खत्म हो गया, तो कमीशन ने उसको कॉन्टेस्ट नहीं किया। अब प्रॉब्लम उसमें मुझे यही आ रही है कि प्रॉब्लम ये आ रही है कि स्कूप आपको तब मिलेगा ना जब कोई चीज घट जाएगी। हम लोग भी मैं मुखर्जी कमीशन को फॉलो कर रहा था। मुखर्जी कमीशन की रिपोर्ट पब्लिक होने से पहले मुझे मालूम चल गया था उसकी फाइंडिंग क्या मोटी मोटी, क्योंकि हम लोग उसको फॉलो कर रहे थे। हमारे आप बात कर सकते हैं, होम मिनिस्ट्री में बात कर सकते हैं, आप कमीशन में बात कर सकते हैं, तो आपको मालूम चल जाता है कि मोटा मोटा कमीशन मिला है। लेकिन वो मुझे तब मालूम था कि जस्टिस मुखर्जी रिपोर्ट सबमिट कर चुके थे, उसकी फाइंडिंग गृह मंत्रालय में और कमीशन के लोगों को मालूम थी। उसमें से कुछ लोगों ने हमें बता दी और वो अखबार में छप गई थी पहले, रिपोर्ट आने से पहले। तो आप किसी रिपोर्ट के बनने के बाद उसके बारे में पता लगा सकते हैं, इवन सीक्रेटली। लेकिन जो रिपोर्ट बनी ही नहीं है, जो कंक्लूजन बना ही नहीं है, जो डीएनए की स्टडी होने में 6-6 महीने का टाइम चाहिए, ये डीएनए टेस्ट शुरुआत होने से पहले ही उसकी फाइंडिंग निकल जाना, ये कौन सी साइंस है, ये मुझे समझा दे। आप टेस्ट करने के बाद रिजल्ट आएगा ना, टेस्ट करने से पहले रिजल्ट नहीं आएगा।
हाँ।
तो ये क्लियर कट प्रूफ है गड़बड़ घोटाले का कि आप माइंड को चेंज करना, तो आपने ये नकली स्टोरी मीडिया में प्लान करवा दी। तो ये मीडिया में स्टोरियां नेताजी को लेकर गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया पहले से प्लान करा दी आई है। इन्होंने ये शाहनवाज कमेटी में किया था 56 में नेहरू के टाइम पे, इन्होंने ऐसे काम बाद में भी किया लोगों ने। दैट इज वन। एनीहाउ, आप इस सर्कमस्टेंशियल एविडेंस को साइड पे रख दीजिए। जब आप डीएनए टेस्टिंग करते हैं तो टेस्टिंग एक्चुअली होता क्या है, ह्यूमन उसमें इंटरवेंशन मशीन में नहीं होता। आप मशीन के अंदर कुछ सैंपल डालते हैं, जो डीएनए टेस्टिंग की मशीन होती है, वो एक चार्ट नहीं जिसको बोलते हैं रॉ डेटा। तो इसेंशियली जो कॉमन लैंग्वेज हम लोग यूज करते हैं, उसका मतलब ये होता है कि इलेक्ट्रोफेरोग्राम की जो रीडिंग होती है उसको डीएनए टेस्ट रिपोर्ट कहा जाता है। मान लीजिए किसी की छाती में खांसी वांसी है, तो वो जाकर के डॉक्टर के पास जाएगा, उसकी एक्सरे की रिपोर्ट आएगी, तो एक्सरे की रिपोर्ट देके डॉक्टर बताएगा कि आपका चेस्ट में क्या प्रॉब्लम है या नहीं है करके। तो इलेक्ट्रोफेरोग्राम के बिना डीएनए की रिपोर्ट नहीं होती है, क्योंकि डीएनए की रिपोर्ट इलेक्ट्रोफेरोग्राम की रीडिंग पर आधारित होती है। और ये दुनिया में जहां भी रिपोर्टें निकलती हैं उसमें इलेक्ट्रोफेरोग्राम की कॉपी लगाई जाती है। कॉमन है, आप गूगल में सर्च मारेंगे तो दुनिया भर के आपको इलेक्ट्रोफेरोग्राम मिल जाएंगे आपको, कि विदाउट इलेक्ट्रोफेरोग्राम कोई नहीं मानेगा आपकी रिपोर्ट, क्योंकि आपको चेक करना है। मान लीजिए कल को मैं इस रिपोर्ट को कॉन्टेस्ट करना चाहता हूँ और मैं किसी और एक्सपर्ट के पास गया, मान लीजिए मुझे प्रॉब्लम है चेस्ट में, मैंने एक्सरे कराया, मुझे डॉक्टर ने कहा कि आपको कुछ नहीं है, तो मैं किसी और डॉक्टर के पास कंसल्ट करने गया, तो मुझे बोलेगा मुझे रिपोर्ट दिखाओ एक्सरे की, इंडिपेंडेंट व्यू उसको दिखेंगे, तो रिपोर्ट नहीं पड़ेगा, वो कहेगा मुझे एक्सरे दिखाइए रिपोर्ट। तो ये इन्होंने क्या किया, हमें अंदर से खबर लगी इन्होंने इलेक्ट्रोफोरोग्राम को ग्रैब कर दिया, क्योंकि असली में रिपोर्ट कुछ और थी, रिपोर्ट को चेंज किया गया, वो अंदर से खबर हमको लगी। तो हम लोगों ने आरटीआई हम लोगों ने लगाया और उनसे हमने बोला कि हमको इसकी इलेक्ट्रोफोरोग्राम रिपोर्ट दी जाए। अब प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, जिस चीज को छाती ठोक करके दुनिया ये बोल रही है और ये वो लोग कह रहे हैं कि वो टेस्टिंग हुआ, दिस मैन वाज नॉट हिम, देन ही वाज अ नोबडी।
लेकिन ये चेंज क्यों किया जाएगा? मतलब
वो अलग
ये
कहानी है,
रिपोर्ट जो है, एवरीबॉडी वांट्स टू नो द ट्रूथ अबाउट हिम।
वो चेंज इसलिए किया कि गृह मंत्रालय, अगर आप मुखर्जी कमीशन की रिपोर्ट पढ़ेंगे उसमें साफ मेंशन किया कि गृह मंत्रालय उनसे कोऑपरेट नहीं कर रहा, इशू पॉलिटिकल है, गवर्नमेंट सच्चाई को नहीं बाहर आने देना चाहती, तो उनके लिए उन्हीं की लैब में रिपोर्ट चेंज नहीं कर सकते वो लोग। तो ये रिपोर्ट गलत हुई है, उसके सबूत आपके सामने। इन्होंने इलेक्ट्रोफोरोग्राम नहीं दिया, उन्होंने ताले मटाले मारनी शुरू कर दी थी, क्लासिफाइड है, अरे सीक्रेट किस बात की यार, तुम खुद ही कह रहे हो गुमनामी बाबा कोई नहीं था, तो फिर किस बात की जरूरत है, किस बात की क्लासिफिकेशन, किस बात का सीक्रेसी। बाद में अभी थोड़े दिन पहले हमारा दोस्त सायक सेन ने वो फिर से आरटीआई रिक्वेस्ट डाला है हमारे जहां, हमारे 1 साल बाद, तब इन्होंने बोला हमारे पास में है नहीं रिपोर्ट वो। अरे अभी आप कह रहे थे आप दे सकते नहीं, आप कह रहे हो हमारे पास में है नहीं। फिर उसको लेके बवाल मच गया टीवी में, हमारा डिस्कशन हुआ टेलीविजन के अंदर। तब डायरेक्टर साहब का नाम लेके बोला गया कि आप आइए टीम एक्सप्लेन कीजिए, इतना बड़ा केस है, नहीं आने को तैयार नहीं है, मीडिया को फोन करके उल्टा सीधा बोले जा रहे। तो वो देखिए किसी भी आदमी को समझ में आ जाएगा। उसके बाद में हम लोग भारत के लीडिंग डीएनए एक्सपर्ट्स को हम लोग उस पर लेकर आए प्रोग्राम के चैनल में, उनको बुलाया गया और उन्होंने वहां बैठ के उसकी 50 गलतियां निकाल दी। जैसे मान लीजिए कि आदमी का एक दांत देख करके उन्होंने उसकी हाइट बता दी, उसने कहा जी कौन सी साइंस है ये दुनिया में आज भी हम नहीं बता सकते, ये 2001 में कलकत्ता में कौन सी का दांत देख के उसकी हाइट आप बता रहे हैं। तो उसमें 50 उसमें प्रॉब्लम्स निकालनी शुरू कर दी। लेकिन जो लोग हमारे गुमनामी बाबा के केस के खिलाफ में, उनके हाथ में वो पत्थर लग गया। और सबसे बड़ी बात उसमें तो देखने वाली, जो सुभाष बोस का जो परिवार है, ये लोग सारी जिंदगी बैठ के गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को गाली दिया, मतलब इन द सेंस कि वो गवर्नमेंट के व्यूज को अपोज किया, दे नेवर बिलीव एनीथिंग गवर्नमेंट सेज। आज सडनली ये लोग गवर्नमेंट की रिपोर्ट के बड़े फेवरेट में आ गए ये लोग। तो ये तो डबल स्टैंडर्ड है ना, कि आप गवर्नमेंट की रिपोर्ट्स को मानते नहीं, किसी को हर चीज को आप अपोज करते हैं कि मैं खोसला की रिपोर्ट को नहीं मानता, मैं शहनाज की रिपोर्ट को नहीं मानता। इनफेक्ट पूरा का पूरा परिवार जस्टिस मुखर्जी के फेवर में था टिल सच टाइम उनकी टेप बाहर निकली और जैसे मालूम चलता है कि वो सुभाष बोस वो इस बाबा की थ्योरी को मानते हैं, तभी उसके पीछे पड़ गए लोग। तो एक ये डिसऑनेस्टी जो है ना, वो उसके चक्कर में प्रॉब्लम हो रही है। तो लोगों को ये मालूम होना चाहिए कि डीएनए टेस्ट में फजिंग हुई है, उसमें घपलेबाजी हुई है, और उस घपलेबाजी की वजह से जस्टिस मुखर्जी ये साबित नहीं कर पाया कि आदमी सुभाष बोस था। तो ये मोटा मोटा ये केस है। अब इस केस को आप अगर कंपेयर करेंगे रशियन एंगल से या दूसरे प्लेन क्रैश की थ्योरी से, वो हवेबाजी वाली बातें हैं। मैंने कहा ना कि किसी आप बड़ी बड़ी बातें करना स्टार्ट कर दो कि मैं तो फॉरेन कंट्री में गया था, वहां पे मुझे ये अंग्रेज मिला, वहां पे मुझे जापानी मिला, आप बड़े बड़े लोगों के नाम लेने शुरू हो, तो सुनने में बड़ा अच्छा लगता है, बड़ा क्रेडिबल। क्योंकि यहाँ एक गुलामों की मानसिकता है देश के अंदर कि अगर आपके सामने बड़े बड़े नाम लूं, खासकर अंग्रेजी, कि साहब वो आदमी था, वो तो बड़ा डॉक्टर था, वो कह रहा था, अरे वो इसकी कोई वैल्यू लीगल टर्म्स में नहीं होती। कौन क्या कह रहा था उसे मुझे मतलब नहीं। आप मुझे एविडेंस दिखाइए, एविडेंस क्या आपके पास में कि अगर आपने दावा किया कि नेताजी को रूस में मार दिया गया, तो भैया एविडेंस क्या है? आपको समझते हैं कि इतने बड़े आदमी को पकड़ के वो रखेंगे, गोली मारेंगे, पूरा फायरिंग स्क्वाड होगा, उसके कपड़े मौजूद होंगे, उसका चश्मा वो कहीं वहां रखा होगा, उसकी यहाँ पे ग्रेव होगी, 50 रिकॉर्ड बने होंगे, कहाँ है वो रिकॉर्ड? और रशियन गवर्नमेंट ने तो बार बार बोला कि हमने हमने नहीं मारा, वी हैव नथिंग टू डू विद द फेट ऑफ सुभाष बोस। ये सोवियत गवर्नमेंट का स्टेटमेंट है, वी हैव नथिंग टू डू विद द फेट ऑफ सुभाष चंद्र बोस। तो लेकिन ये कि मीडिया गेम चल रहा है, उसमें लोग अपनी अपनी बातें बोल रहे हैं और उन कईयों की बात।
लेकिन जब तक कोई कंक्लूजन मिलता नहीं है, हर कुछ स्टोरी ही लग रहा है सर, क्योंकि ज्यादातर लोग प्लेन क्रैश थ्योरी को बिलीव कर रहे हैं, पता नहीं क्यों। और आपका कहना है कि एविडेंसेस आर।
देखिए इंफॉर्मेशन वॉरफेयर में ये अलग, इसमें अलग अलग पार्टीज हैं। इंफॉर्मेशन वॉरफेयर में क्या होता है कि जिसके पास में ज्यादा अच्छे इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स हैं, इंस्ट्रूमेंटलिटीज हैं, वो ज्यादा, मैं चैनल में अपनी बात बोल सकता हूँ, मुझे अच्छा बोलना आता है, तो वो जीतेगा, जो उसकी बात मानी जाएगी। लेकिन ये फर्क तो है ना, आप ये देखो ना कि जब से ये केस शुरू हुआ है, गुमनामी बाबा की थ्योरी को किसी ने घास नहीं डाली। 2001 में जब हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स ने जब इन्वेस्टिगेशन की, जिसका मैं हिस्सा था बड़ा, तब से ये केस इंटरनेशनल लोगों को मालूम चलना शुरू हुआ। उसके बाद से धीरे 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 करके, जैसे आज मेरे मेरे लेक्चर पूरी दुनिया में होते मैं जाता हूँ, आज वो इतना मशहूर हुआ है वो केस करते करते धीरे धीरे कि पहली जो बांग्ला फिल्म बनी है नेताजी की डेथ मिस्ट्री पे, उसमें भी गुमनामी बाबा को दिखाया गया। और वो सारा पूरा बंगाल, उसको पूरा जहाँ जहाँ दुनिया में लोग देख रहे हैं, हिंदी का वर्जन भी आ गया। तो जिस इशू को कोई लोग सुनने को तैयार नहीं था, आज वही गुमनामी बाबा की थ्योरी बहुत नंबर 1 में पहुंच चुकी है। तो मेरा मानना है कि आने वाले टाइम पे क्या होगा कि जैसे गवर्नमेंट की जो बात कर रहे हैं, जो थिंकिंग है, गांधी जी का मेन योगदान था, वो अहिंसा से हमने अंग्रेजों को भगा दिया। लेकिन भारत की पब्लिक इस बात को नहीं मानती। भारत की पब्लिक मानती है कि इंडिया बिकेम फ्री बिकॉज सुभाष बोस। तो यही कहानी इस केस में होने वाली है
एब्सोल्युटली।
कि सरकार ये बोलती फिरेगी हर जगह प्लेन क्रैश में मर गए, लेकिन पब्लिक उसको नहीं मानने वाली। पब्लिक यही बोलेगी कि साहब ये कहानी में कुछ झोल है। और जैसे जैसे दिन बढ़ते जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि गुमनामी बाबा की थ्योरी और मशहूर होती जा रही है, और यहाँ आने वाले टाइम पे ये नंबर 1 थ्योरी बन जाएगी। सरकार उसको एक्सेप्ट करे चाहे ना करे, वो पब्लिक उसको एक्सेप्ट कर लेगी।
करेक्ट सर। तो अभी आपका मैसेज क्या रहेगा? जैसे कि मैं आप रिसेंटली देख रही थी, क्योंकि नेताजी का 125th बर्थ एनिवर्सरी आ रहा है,
हमारा
उसमें
मैसेज
आपने कुछ।
हमारा मैसेज हमारे मिशन नेताजी का मैसेज बड़ा सिंपल है कि नेताजी 125th इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इवेंट, और
हम्म।
उसमें अपने बंगाल में इलेक्शंस आ रहे हैं, तो उसको लेके सुभाष बोस का नाम, काफ़ी नेताजी का नाम चलेगा। तो उसमें हम जो लोग, जितने भी लोग सुभाष बोस के जो फॉलोअर्स हैं, एडमायरर्स हैं, या चाहते हैं कि उनसे जुड़े मुद्दे बाहर आने चाहिए, हम लोग सारे मिलकर के कुछ डिमांड रेज करें। और ये डिमांड में किसी को प्रॉब्लम नहीं होनी चाहिए, बिकॉज मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि आप इस बात को मान लो कि जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ वो ठीक है। वो 3 डिमांड है। पहली डिमांड, उसमें से ऑलरेडी ममता दीदी लिख चुकी है, कि उनके जन्मदिन पे छुट्टी होनी चाहिए। उसका नाम, वैसे वो देश प्रेम दिवस डिक्लेयर हो चुका है 1997 के अंदर। मुझे नाम से, नॉमेनक्लेचर से कोई मतलब नहीं है, जो मर्जी लिखो, आपको जो अच्छा लगे लगा दे, लेकिन छुट्टी होना जरूरी है। तो पहली डिमांड ये है, सबसे आसान डिमांड। सेकंड डिमांड ये है कि भारत सरकार को ये एक्सेप्ट करना पड़ेगा, पिछले 10-12 साल में बहुत सारा एविडेंस आ चुका है कि भारत को आज़ाद कराने में सुभाष बोस की भूमिका नंबर 1 थी, और ये पूरा हिंसा की नौटंकी को इसको बंद किया जाए। तो ये डिमांड की, वो भारत का आज़ाद कराने में सबसे बड़ा उनका हाथ था, इसको एक्सेप्ट करे सरकार ऑफिशियली, क्योंकि हमारा पैसा खर्च करके ये लोग हिंसा का ढंडोरा पीट रहे हैं दुनिया भर के अंदर। और तीसरी बात कि जो उनके मौत से जुड़ा मुद्दा है, उसके अंदर फाइनलिटी होनी चाहिए, उसके अंदर क्लोजर आना चाहिए, उसके अंदर कुछ स्टेप लेने चाहिए। तो मैं कोई आपको वो नहीं बोल रहा कि आप मेरी बात को मानो आप, लेकिन आपको कुछ स्टेप करने लेने पड़ेंगे। इंटेलिजेंस की फाइल पब्लिक करो, जो भी कर सकते हैं। तो ये 3 मुद्दे हमारे हिसाब से, जो अभी हमारे हो, 2 कमेटियां बनी है, एक सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में और एक स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने बनाई है,
स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का।
उनको ये रिकमेंडेशन देनी चाहिए। लेकिन मेरे को मानना है कि वो देंगे नहीं, क्योंकि उसमें सारे के सारे वही गांधी फैन क्लब के लोग बैठे हुए हैं। उन्हें फोटो खिंचवाने से ज्यादा मतलब नहीं किसी और चीज का, तो वो डिमांड नहीं करेंगे। और सबसे बड़ी बात आप नोट, क्योंकि सुभाष बोस के परिवार के लोग कुछ तो ऑलरेडी मतलब कांग्रेस से जुड़े हुए थे, कुछ लोग जो पहले कुछ बातें बोल रहे थे, आज उन्होंने वो बातें बोलनी छोड़ दी है। अगर कोई आदमी, कोई जर्नलिज्म में कोई आदमी जर्नलिज्म बैठा, वो गूगल सर्च करके अगर आज से यूट्यूब में उनके 2 साल पहले के बाइट देखे और अभी के देखे, तो बिल्कुल उल्टा पलटा मार दिया 180 डिग्री का। तो ये प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है कि इस तरह के लोग जो दोगली किस्म की बातें कर रहे हैं, उनको लोगों ने, सेंटर में सरकार ने रखा हुआ है कि उनके सामने वो चीजें घुमाते हैं, और ताकि पब्लिक कंफ्यूज रहे उसको लेकर के। तो ये चीज क्लैरिटी, मेरे ख्याल से इन 3 चीजों की क्लैरिटी होनी बहुत जरूरी है देश में। और ये हमारे लिए बहुत अच्छा टाइम आया है कि हम लोग इस इशू को रेज कर सकते हैं।
तो मतलब आपका जो ये मतलब बिलीफ है, बिलीफ नहीं,
मेरा
आपने
बिलीफ, मैं
कहा
तो
कि
पहले बोल रहा हूँ, मेरा
एविडेंसेस
कोई
मिला
बिलीफ,
हुआ है,
नो, मेरा
एविडेंसेस
मेरा
मिला
कोई
है।
बिलीफ नहीं है। मेरा बिलीफ कुछ नहीं है। मेरा बिलीफ है कि आई एम गोइंग बाय द एविडेंस, आई एम प्योरली साइंटिफिक। देयर इज नो बिलीफ,
एब्सोल्युटली।
इट इज बेस्ड ऑन साइंस, इट इज बेस्ड ऑन फैक्ट्स एंड एविडेंस, कि वो एविडेंस मैच कर रहा है। बिलीफ उन
अगर
लोगों का
इस
है जो ये कहते हैं कि मेरा मानना है कि वो रशिया में गोली मार दी, वो दैट इज अ बिलीफ। दिस इज नॉट अ बिलीफ, इट इज एविडेंस। एंड लेटिंग एक्सपर्ट्स
हाँ,
ओपिनियन इज एडमिसिबल एविडेंस इन कोर्ट्स ऑफ लॉ।
जो आपका जो ये थर्ड डिमांड है कि सेटलमेंट, उनका डेथ मिस्ट्री का जो
मैं
सेटलमेंट
मैं
होना चाहिए।
मैं उस पर नहीं जा रहा हूँ। मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि आप लोग हमारी बात को माने, मैं कह रहा हूँ सेटलमेंट होना चाहिए।
जी, तो
उसमें
जी ये जो
ऑटोमेटिकली,
अगर सेटलमेंट होने के बाद में अल्टीमेटली कोई और थ्योरी सामने आई, जैसे कि कोई नया थ्योरी भी आ सकता है, अगर
नहीं नहीं
फाइनली ये निकले,
नहीं
वुड यू स्टिल बिलीव कि?
नहीं, ऐसा वो आने की चांस नहीं है। पॉइंट ये है, वो जैसे मैंने कहा ना कि 3 थ्योरियां हैं, कि प्लेन क्रैश में डेथ हुई, ताइवान में कहते हैं रशिया में मार दिया उनको, तीसरा कहते हैं फैजाबाद में थे। जहां
जी।
मैंने ये कंक्लूसिवली स्टैब्लिश कर दिया कि वो उनकी डेथ यहाँ पर प्लेन क्रैश में हुई थी, ऑटोमेटिकली दो
हम्म।
कहानी उड़ गई। अगर ये डिस्प्यूट है कि मैं अभी कहाँ बैठा हूँ, मैं दिल्ली में हूँ कि मैं कलकत्ता में हूँ कि रांची में हूँ, अगर ये स्टैब्लिश
हम्म।
हो जाए कि दिल्ली में, तो ऑटोमेटिकली आई कैन नॉट बी इन रांची एंड कैलकाटा, इजंट इट? Same way,
हम्म।
then if you can, when anybody can prove, establish that he was dead in Russia in 55 3 whatever जो वो बोलते हैं, automatically he cannot be in India. बट प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पे ये आ रही है कि यहाँ पे सन 56 से लेकर के 1985 तक एक नहीं कई लोग, जिसमें से उनकी आप किसी क्वेश्चन क्रेडिबिलिटी पे क्वेश्चन रेज नहीं कर सकते, उसमें से कई लोग आईएनए वाले थे, फैमिली का लिख निकल के आ रहा है, लेटर्स मिल रहे हैं, वो सारा का सारा एविडेंस क्लियर बता रहा है कि वो आदमी वो थे, जिसको जस्टिस मुखर्जी भी एडमिट कर रहे हैं कि वो एविडेंस क्लियर है। सिर्फ वो फॉरेंसिक के चक्कर में, डीएनए की रिपोर्ट के चक्कर में प्रॉब्लम हो गई, और अब भी हमको मालूम चला कि वो डीएनए रिपोर्ट में फ्रॉड हुआ था। तो जब ये इतने लोग आई विटनेस बता रहे हैं, वो कह रहे हैं कि हमने उनको वहां देखा है, हमसे मिले हैं, तो ऑब्वियसली द क्वेश्चन ऑफ थर्ड फोर्थ थ्योरी डज नॉट अराइज, इट इज प्योरली एविडेंस, एविडेंस जहां होगा वहां जाएंगे।
अभी क्वेश्चन यही है कि अल्टीमेटली क्या रिपोर्ट आने वाला है, या फिर रिपोर्ट कभी रियल
अल्टीमेटली
वाला
ये
आएगा
होगा
या
कि
नहीं, लेकिन
अल्टीमेटली
जो भी आए अल्टीमेटली आप यही कहना चाह रहे हैं कि कुछ भी रिपोर्ट आए आप यही मानते हैं कि
नहीं
गुमनामी बाबा का थ्योरी ही
नहीं
विथ
नहीं
ऑल
नहीं
द
नहीं
एविडेंस इज द
नहीं
करेक्ट
नहीं
थिंग।
मैंने ये नहीं कहा, मैंने नहीं बोला, मैंने बोला कि एविडेंस उसकी तरफ को है, जो वो रिपोर्ट आएगी तब देखूंगा ना फिर मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि मैं आई एम गोइंग बाय द साइंटिफिक एविडेंस, आई एम गोइंग बाय द लॉजिक एंड एविडेंस ऑफ दिस केस। सो नाउ
नो
देयर एन
दैट
एविडेंस।
इज ट्रू,
हाँ,
दैट इज
सो
ट्रू।
दैट इज देयर। उसके हाँ, उसके बाद जो भी आएगा परसों तो थ्योरी फुट करे, आंसर दे, हम देखेंगे उसको। वो तो कौन मना कर रहा है कि थ्योरी कोई देखेगा, एनीबॉडी कैन प्रमोट एनी थ्योरी, बट राइट नाउ इफ इट
So,
इज
जो भी
कंक्लूसिव,
रिपोर्ट आता है would you go with the government, like whatever
do
the
I do I
reports
look
final
do I look
settlement
like
अगर कुछ आए?
do I look like I'm a person I will not read stories? I have gone through all the stories. I meet everybody. I talk to everybody. I know everybody in this game, and I've been meeting, and we have looked into it, fine tooth comb. Every single report, etc., is looked into, detailed, discussed, Russia, etc. सब कुछ हो जाए. Hear this very clearly. Suppose कल को बड़ा clinching proof निकलता है कि प्लेन क्रश की थ्योरी ठीक है, तो obviously अगर clinching निकल जाएगा तो automatically why would I not believe it? But then there is none. But this what I'm telling you right now, जब ये डिक्लासिफिकेशन की बात मैंने अपनी किताब में पूरी स्टार्ट की है 2012 में, हमने उसमें लिखा है कि इस पूरी मुहिम का अगर अंत में जाकर के वो ये प्रूव हो जाता है कि साहब वो प्लेन क्रश की थ्योरी ठीक है, तब भी हमारी वजह से होगा ना। हम तो चाहते हैं इश्यू में क्लोजर आना चाहिए। आई वांट अ क्लोजर इन दिस केस, दैट्स ऑल, दैट इज द स्टोरी अबाउट द होल थिंग। तो दैट इज ओके। अगर फ्यूचर में रिपोर्ट में सारी पढ़ता हूँ, एक एक लाइन, ऐसा नहीं कि बिना सुने रिजेक्ट करना है। मैंने आपको बताया कि हम पूर्वी राय मैडम
Absolutely.
पूरा डिटेल में समझा उन्होंने क्या किया था।
आप इतने साल से रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, डेफिनेटली इतने लोग अगर विश्वास करें तो डेफिनेटली इट हैज अ बेस। मतलब मेरा क्वेश्चन
विश्वास
वही
नहीं,
था।
लोग विश्वास नहीं कर रहे हैं। आपने आंखों से देखा, दैट इज एन आई विटनेस अकाउंट। आई एम टेलिंग यू, दीस आर ऑल लीगली एडमिसिबल एविडेंस। यू सीइंग समथिंग विद योर ओन आईज, you have the contemporary documentary evidence which is matching, you have the forensic evidence that is matching। इस देश के अंदर
राइट।
आई विटनेस अकाउंट के ऊपर लोगों को फांसी हो जाती है। आई विटनेस अकाउंट इज सफिशिएंट टू हैंग अ पर्सन। हियर यू हैव आई विटनेस अकाउंट, यू हैव द डॉक्यूमेंट्री एविडेंस एंड यू हैव द फोरेंसिक एविडेंस। ये एविडेंस
फोरेंसिक
आपको किसी
एविडेंस
और
as
थ्योरी में कहीं नहीं मिलने वाला। दैट इज व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, राइट नाउ दिस इज द मोस्ट फॉर्मिडेबल स्टोरी।
well. Right.
मैं 20 साल की रिसर्च कर, मैं तो कन्विंस हूं कि वो थ्योरी वो बाकी
So
फ्यूचर
that
में
is
कल
the
ऑब्वियसली हम लोग एक एक लाइन पढ़ते हैं कि कोई जो व्यक्ति बोलता है हमसे कुछ भी बोलता है, मैं सारी बातें सुनता हूँ, देखता हूँ। वो तो रिसर्चर का काम होता है देखना। मैं काउंटर कैसे करूंगा, किसी को देखूंगा नहीं तो। बट दैट हैज टू बी क्लियर ना। अगर सपोज मान लीजिए कल को कोई प्रोफेसर आके अमेरिका से बोले कि जब ताइवान में प्लेन क्रैश हुआ था, मैं गोप्रो कैमरा लेके बैठा था वहां पे, मैंने सारा कैमरा में रिकॉर्ड किया हुआ, ठीक है, दिखा दे, कहानी खत्म। कोई आदमी बोलते कि रशिया में जब शूटिंग हुई है तो शूटिंग स्क्वाड का पूरा वीडियो अवेलेबल है, वो नेताजी की फैमिली के पास कोई बंदा लेकर आया, हाँ ठीक है, प्रोड्यूस कर दीजिए। सो दैट इज क्लेंचिंग एविडेंस।
true,
So you need
very
to
true.
have a very formidable clinching evidence to override the evidence for Faizabad angle.
So ये 3 डिमांड्स जो है, इसमें से सबसे मेजर ये है कि उनकी डेथ मिस्ट्री का एक सेटलमेंट हो।
उनकी सबसे बड़ी मेजर
सेकेंडली
डिमांड जो मेरे हिसाब से कि वो उन्होंने भारत को आजाद कराने में नंबर 1 योगदान दिया था, वो एक्सेप्ट होना चाहिए।
एक्सेप्ट होना चाहिए। राइट
दैट
राइट।
इज मेरे हिसाब से वो, क्योंकि वो उसमें किसी को डिस्प्यूट नहीं होना चाहिए, चाहे वो आदमी प्लेन क्रश को सपोर्ट करे, चाहे वो इसको सपोर्ट करे। मैंने कहा ना, ये 3 डिमांड हम लोगों ने जेनरिक रखी है, स्पेसिफिक नहीं है। जो मैं डिसिप्लिन
राइट।
को सेटल करने की बात करता हूँ, उसमें मैं इसलिए कह रहा हूँ कि मैंने ओवरऑल बोला, जो दीदी ने भी कहा। मैं आपको अपनी थ्योरी नहीं बोल रहा कि आई डोंट वांट टू इंपोज माय व्यूज ऑन यू, यू आर फ्री टू हैव योर ओन व्यूज, बट these are 3
Absolutely.
generic demands anybody who claims to be a follower of Subhash Bose must agree to these 3 demands। अब वो एग्री
Absolutely.
नहीं करता तो वो नेताजी का फॉलोवर नहीं है, वो बेसिकली नौटंकी कर रहा है। और इसमें नौटंकी बात बहुत सारे हैं। मैंने बताया कि आपको जो कमेटियां बनी हैं दिल्ली में और कलकत्ता में, उसमें गांधी भक्त बैठे हैं बहुत सारे। कोई भी सुभाष बोस का जो सपोर्टर होगा वो कभी इन 3 डिमांड को अपोज नहीं करेगा। मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि आप
These are very genuine. हाँ, ये बहुत ही जेन्युइन डिमांड्स है और ये इतना मुश्किल भी नहीं लगता। अगर ठीक से काम किया जाए तो डेफिनेटली ये सेटलमेंट बहुत जल्दी हो सकता है, क्योंकि
है ना,
बहुत
वही तो मैं कह
साल
रहा
हो
हूँ।
गए हैं इस पे
अब
काम
मुश्किल है,
चल
वो
रहा
पैर
है।
में वो कुल्हाड़ी मारेंगे अपने पैर में, उनको एडमिट करना पड़ जाएगा हम लोगों ने ये गलत गलत, फिर वही तो सारा का सारा बवाल मचेगा कि दे हैव बीन लाइंग फॉर ऑल दीस इयर्स। अंडरस्टैंड? तो दैट्स अ प्रॉब्लम कि द पीपल विल नो दिस, दे आर लाइंग। गवर्नमेंट कैसे एक्सेप्ट कर
राइट।
लेगी? और ये उनके मौत का मुद्दा और भारत को किसने आजाद करा, ये जुड़े हुए आपस में, इसीलिए वो चीज को छुपाया जा रहा है। तो अलग अलग कहानी है। तो दैट इज हाउ इट इज।
So we wish कि ये जल्दी से जल्दी ये 3 demands
देखिए ये
पूरी
आने
हो।
वाला साल बहुत अच्छा है हमारे लिए, ये साल बड़ा अच्छा है, इसमें डिस्कशन होगी, इलेक्शंस हो रहे हैं, तो ये डिस्कशन डिबेट्स हों और लोग इसमें इंटरेस्ट लें। जैसे आपका एग्जांपल है कि आप इतने यंग हो गए इस चीज़ को फॉलो कर रहे हैं, अच्छा कर रहे हैं, और इसी तरह से जैसे आपके चैनल के थ्रू और ऑल थ्रू हम लोग चाह रहे हैं कि और मैसेज और लोगों तक जाए, लोग डिस्कस करें, और ये बहुत अच्छा, बहुत पॉजिटिव साइन है कि यंग लोग इसमें इंटरेस्टेड है।
आना
और मेरा
चाहिए सर।
मानना है
आई
कि
दिस इज
मेरा
द
मानना है
मेन
कि मेरे
मोटिव
साथ
आई
मेरे
केम हियर
हाँ
विद। यही
मेरा
मेरा मेन
मानना
मोटिव है कि यूथ जो है और ज्यादा
है,
बोलना चाहिए, एंड
बिल्कुल
पर्टिकुलरली मैं बोल रही हूँ जो कि नेताजी के फॉलोअर और रेस होना चाहिए कि इस
बिल्कुल
टॉपिक का एक सेटलमेंट लाया जाए। ये
बिल्कुल
मेरा
बिल्कुल और
मेरा यही
मेरा
मोटिव है।
मेरा एक्सपीरियंस ऑनलाइन का और ऑफलाइन का, मेरे लेक्चर्स का, जहाँ जहाँ मैं जाता हूँ, कि मेरे को सुनने के लिए मुझसे सब यंग लोग आते हैं, जिसके पास में यूथ है। अगर मैं जाकर के आईआईटी बॉम्बे में, आईआईटी मद्रास में या एमआईटी बॉस्टन में लेक्चर दे रहा हूँ, मुझे जो वो लोग सुनने आते हैं
जी
वो बहुत ज़्यादा ब्राइट हैं, और वो आगे जाकर के या अभी भी ऑलरेडी जाकर के अमेजन में या गूगल में वर्ल्ड की टॉप कंपनी में बहुत ऊंची पोजीशन भी लगे हुए हैं, और वो सब अपने घरों में अपने आने वाले बच्चों पोतों को मेरे बारे में बताएंगे। तो मुझे टेंशन सिर्फ प्रेजेंट की है। फ्यूचर में गुमनामी बाबा की थ्योरी और मेरा व्यू प्रिवेल करेगा। बाकी
आई
भगवान की
रियली
दया से
होप
मेरी उम्र
दैट्स।
काफी काफी कम है। जो लोग अभी रशिया की बात कर रहे हैं वो टाइम उनके साथ में नहीं, मेरे साथ में। तो आई एम नॉट वरीड अबाउट फ्यूचर, आई एम वरीड अबाउट माई प्रेजेंट, की प्रेजेंट में मेरे सामने सामने और रियल में हो जाए।
जी
और youth is taking my theory more credible, finding it more because they are logical, they are open to, they can see, provided उनको टाइम मिले सुनने का, तो वो टाइम हो रहा है। ठीक है।
आई विश 2021 proves to be the best year कि नेताजी का 125th बर्थ एनिवर्सरी है और जल्द से जल्द ये सच्चाई सबके सामने आए। थैंक यू सो मच सर।
हाँ जी,
बाय।
थैंक यू,
जय हिंद।
थैंक यू वेरी मच।